Hello, my name is Raymond Alvin, and today we're going to be making fun games with Scratch in Series 1, Episode 3 of 5. The learning objective of this class is to learn how to program a fun game with Scratch. First, we're going to go to Scratch and create an account. Next, we're going to learn how to navigate through the basic programming interface. Finally, we're going to learn how to program a really fun game called Basket Pong. This is Basket Pong, and it's the game that we're going to be programming today. And the goal of the game is to score as many points as possible by bouncing the basketball off of your paddle into the hoop. And you control your paddle by moving your cursor side to side. And you lose if the basketball hits the floor. Now we're going to get started. So go to scratch.mit.edu and click on Join Scratch and create an account. We have just gone to Scratch and created a new account. And now we're going to learn how to navigate through the programming interface when you start a new project. This is the basic programming interface that you'll see when you start a new project. There are three different folders: code, costumes, and sounds. And in code, you drag blocks out to create programs, start and stop the programs with the green flag and the stop sign. You choose backdrops and add new sprites, and you choose which sprite to code for. And the sprites are basically just different characters. And in costumes, you choose and edit costumes or backdrops, and choose different sprites and backdrops to edit. And in sounds, you add and edit sound effects and music. Now we have gone to Scratch and created an account and learned how to navigate through the basic programming interface. So now we are going to learn how to program Basket Pong. Now we are going to be building the game. So first click Create, and then it'll take you to the basic programming interface that we just talked about. And once you're here, click on the Choose a New Backdrop button and choose the Basketball 1 backdrop. Then click on the Choose a New Sprite button and choose the line, paddle, and the basketball. Then this is what you should see in the top right corner where it previews your program. Then choose the picture where it shows your backdrop and click on costumes. So one thing that we're going to need to program is to add a point every time the basketball goes into the net. And one way you can do this in Scratch is by adding a point every time the basketball touches whatever color the basketball net is. Now, as you can see, the basketball net is white, and there are many other things in the background that are white, so it'll just be constantly adding points for no reason. So one thing you can do to fix this is add a box inside the basketball net that is a different color that's not in the background. And in this case I chose yellow, so that a point will only be added when the basketball goes into the net. And one more problem is that the basketball will be able to go from under the hoop and score through the net from there. And obviously this isn't how basketball works. And what you can do about this is add different color lines around the net. And once you add these lines, later on we can program them so that whenever the basketball touches whatever color these lines are, it will bounce away. And then, once you've done this, choose the basketball and then click on Code. So now we are going to start programming the basketball, and we're going to make it start at the top and glide down at an angle, and whenever it hits the edges, bounce off in a different direction. So first, when the green flag is clicked, the basketball will go to this space here, and it'll point at a 45-degree angle. and forever it will move 10 steps, and if it's on the edge, it will bounce. Now we are going to program the game so that it adds a point every time the basketball goes into the hoop. So first we're going to need to create a variable by going into the Variables tab and clicking Make a Variable. And you're going to have to name it Score. And then when the green flag is clicked, the score will be set to 0. And forever, if the basketball is touching the yellow, which is the color of the box that we put in the basketball hoop, then the score will change by 1. And it will wait 1 second to repeat. And the reason why we wanted to wait 1 second is so that the game doesn't add multiple points when the basketball only goes in the hoop once. We're going to program the game so that it stops and the game is over if the basketball touches the line or the floor. So when the green flag is clicked, forever, if the basketball is touching the line, which is the sprite that we created earlier, then everything will stop and the game will be over. Now we are going to make the basketball bounce off of the paddle whenever it touches it. So when the green flag is clicked, forever, if the basketball is touching the paddle, then it will turn 15 degrees, and then you add the pick random block and change it from 160 to 200 degrees. So it'll turn either 160 or 200 degrees. Then it will move 10 steps, and it'll wait 0.5 seconds to repeat, because if you don't do this, the basketball will just keep changing in random directions, and it'll be really weird even though it only touched once. Now we're going to be programming the game so that the basketball will bounce off of the lines that we added around the net, so that the player can't score from the basketball going under the hoop, because this obviously isn't how basketball normally works. So when the green flag is clicked, forever, if the basketball is touching the color of the lines that we added, and again, here's a picture showing how to choose those, to choose the color, and then the basketball will turn to a random spot within 160 and 200 degrees, and it'll move 10 steps and wait 0.5 seconds. And the reason why it has to wait 0.5 seconds, again, like we said before, is so that it doesn't keep changing directions when it only touched the line once. So now we're going to be programming the paddle so that it will move horizontally depending on where your mouse is. So first click on the paddle sprite, and then you're going to need to choose the when the green flag is clicked block. Forever, set the X to -7, and then replace the -7 with the mouse X block. So basically what this means is that when the green flag is clicked, the mouse will, or the paddle will move to whatever the X position of your mouse is. And for those of you who don't know, the X position is on the horizontal. It's horizontal, so it will move the paddle left and right, and it will not move it up and down. Now we know how to program a fun game with Scratch. We have gone to Scratch and created a Scratch account, learned how to navigate through the basic programming interface, and we've learned how to program basket Pong. What next? So now you can watch the next STEM courses where we will be animating cool drawings with JavaScript and learning the basics of a Raspberry Pi and programming one to control a circuit. And here are some more fun Scratch tutorials that you can check out.